Hi everyone, it's Happy Mail Queen. Today I have a project share. I made some embellishments, actually just some bows, and I made some more of those prize ribbon using the crepe paper. So I made some and I wanted to package them, so I ended up making also some toppers. And I've seen a lot of people using the Martha Stewart doily, which is this one right here. This is the one from Michaels, and it comes in 30 pieces. And this, I wanted to use it because it went perfectly with this collection, because this collection that I've been using from Dear Lizzie, it's called She's Magic, and it has some holographic accents to it, and so I thought this is perfect for my toppers. And I've seen a lot of people using these for toppers. Usually I don't, I usually use my dies to make a topper, but I decided to do something different, so I went ahead and just I wanted to create some toppers with the doilies. So let me show you what I came up with. So here's one of the I think I shared this already with you guys, but I made some more. But I went ahead and made some of these medallions, or prize ribbon, if you will, using the crepe paper and just strips of, you know, the paper. And for the doily, I basically, you know, folded it over, and then I sewed all around, and I made it into a shaker. I also used some tulle actually to lay over this cardstock first, and then I sewed here, here, and here, and then I put some sequins in there, and then before closing it up, I put the doily behind it like that. It's folded like this basically, but I opened it up like this, and then I put it through my sewing machine and then closed it over here. I actually did 2 stitching there, and so all the little bits actually are inside the organza, so they're not going to be falling out or anything. So I can easily remove this, so the embellishment I can easily remove, and it's nice and tight in there, so I didn't need to, you know, glue it on there or anything. And I love the way this came out. And there's that one. I cut some strips and I just, you know, layered them and sewed it in the middle. And then this is a flower chipboard, this one right here. And this I got actually at Target, and this is actually a banner, and it was in the dollar spot, but I think, I don't remember if I paid $3 or $5, but it was a banner, and I just took it apart and used these for my toppers, because I ran out of the other flowers from this collection, and the colors went with it. So because it has the peach and the pinks, and that's it. I just did I put let's see, oh, I think I just hot glued this one. So there's that one. Then I made some bows, and I used this new bow that I got, heart bows from Allie, and I can't remember which store it was from, but not sure if it was, yeah, I don't remember, but I can put the link in the description box. But anyway, I made some dimensional bows and packaged it the same way. I used some Alina Craft bling here in the center, and I just used my art glitter glue for that. Oh, and in the back, see, I did it double-sided. So this is part of the collection, this green paper. It's like a ledger paper, but I remembered I had a lot of these ledger papers from Prima, and they come like that in different pastel shades, and also the like vintage, you know, they look very vintage. So I used that for the back before I stitched it. So I had, you know, I made it my paper double-sided because this paper isn't double-sided. So I made a couple of those. So I did the same thing here. I stitched here again. And then this one, remember I showed you guys these rosettes. I wanted to package it, but I needed, they're pretty thick. So I had to use a different, I needed to use a gusseted bag. But I did the same thing here basically. I stitched down here. Oh yeah, and this one is, I just kind of layered them differently. I put two on the side and then this one, and I thought it came out really, really cute. So let me show you how I made my toppers. Oh, before I do that though, I also made some toppers, and this is the first time I made a topper like this. I also used some of my sleeves. These are the sleeves that I get from Amazon, and they look like this. And I use it for to, you know, store my dies. But all I did was I cut this part. I cut the flap off, and then I basically stitched all around it. And the way I did it was I stitched here. It's a perfect square, so I stitched here, here, and here, and then I stitched in the middle, and so that gave me two compartments. And so I put the sequins in, and then I went ahead and closed it, and then I folded it over evenly, and so you have a nice topper. And then I did decorate it with some flowers, and so let me show you the one I did right here. I went ahead and put a flower, and then I stitched a couple of tickets and just fishtail banner that I cut, and then I popped them up on foam tape. So it looks like that, and it's ready to go. It's ready to be used. And what's nice about these is that the recipient, they can reuse it. They can pop these off if they want, and reuse these. So that's the two different types of toppers that I created. So let me go ahead and share with you how I made this one right here. Okay, so what we're going to do first is, we're going to cut our paper to size using a 12 by 12. I went ahead and cut it down to 3 7/8 by 5 7/8 because I'm using a 4 by 6 bag, 4 by 6 inch plastic, so that way it will fit nicely inside. So just take your paper trimmer, and I'm going to go ahead and trim it to 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. And of course, if your embellishment that you're putting inside is even thicker, then you probably want to take like a full 1/4 inch off instead of the 1/8. Okay, and then I went ahead and got my organza, or you can use tulle, and I cut a strip that's just a tad bigger than the card, and then we're going to go ahead and sew it. And I've already sewed mine here. I only sewed 3 of the sides and then left the top so that I can put some sequins. So go ahead and put your sequins mix in there. I've already mixed mine, and you can put plenty of sequins in there just to make it look really nice and colorful. Okay, and then I even used some of this, I think that's my Queen & Company shaker bits. Then before we close the top, I'll go ahead and lay my doily in the back and make sure you have room to fold it over, and go ahead and stitch that straight across. And once that's stitched, then everything is sealed in, and so that way nothing is falling out when the recipient opens the package. So here, after this, I go ahead and trim what's sticking out in the back. And I do that because I'm actually going to slip in the plastic sleeve. I'm going to make it into a sleeve, the little bag that I showed you, the 4x6 bag. And I want to make sure it slides nicely in there. And I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about. So I go ahead and take that 4x6. Oh, before that, I guess I decided I'm going to go ahead and decorate. And so I took some of the flowers, the chipboard flowers, again from Target Dollar Spot. And then I also need to get some strips of paper. So you can use some strips of paper from the collection and just make a little banner or little, ribbon. You can layer this any which way you want. Usually the middle ribbon, I like to dovetail it or fishtail it. So I'm going to go ahead and sew across, and then also sew all the way down in the middle. So I'll go ahead and do that now. And this is how it looks like when it's done. And then we're going to go ahead and shape that a little bit just to give it a little more interest, make it kind of pop off the page there, or the topper. Then I'll just go ahead and use my Fabri-Tac, but you can also use hot glue. I didn't turn my hot glue on, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Fabri-Tac and glue that on there. And I think I end up adjusting it because it was too far off to the right. I didn't want it sticking out too much. And then once I got it in the right spot, then I went ahead and put my flower. And then once that's dry, what else do I do here? I think this is where I take my sleeve, and I'm going to close. So it's a bag right now. I'm going to close the bottom. And then on the top where it's closed, I'm going to go ahead and snip it to open it. And so I'm making like a little sleeve where I can go ahead and slip that inside. And just to hold that together, I will just use some dimensional tape, or you can use tape or the foam dots. And I just put it on top and then close that topper over the plastic sleeve, and then it doesn't go anywhere. And I like making the shaker this way because then, then things are not falling out. The little sequence mix and things are, inside. And when the recipient opens it, nothing falls out, except for maybe the embellishment, since I didn't, glue that down. It was nice and snug in there, so I didn't have to put the prize ribbon, I didn't have to put them on pop dots or anything like that, because it was nice and snug. And that's it. That's how I created my little packaging and topper. And then I'm just showing you again this shaker topper that I made, and I just basically used again the sleeve that I use for my die storage. And then here I'm just decorating it. So that's it, really. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys like my short little tutorial and my little project share for today, and I'll talk to you guys later.